Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our final edition of the Lehigh Wrestling Report. I'm Mick Moninghoff, and on tonight's show, we'll take you back through the 1995-96 season. Also, head coach Coach Strobel has some inside moves, a special segment as he takes a look at the finer points of wrestling. We'll have some interviews with some of the former captains as they make their way on out of Lehigh University now. And we also have the 1995-96 Lehigh Wrestling highlight tape, so get the VCR ready. It should be a good one. Joining us on the set today, you have Coach Strobel, the head coach of Lehigh University. Also, Brian Strunk joins us, and Strunk Kutz, both co-captains, as they now have graduated. Well, they will graduate in the spring as they leave Lehigh Wrestling. Coach, take us back through Easterns. I know it was a big time for Lehigh as they got ready for Easterns all year long. You were ranked about third. Cornell and Navy were at the top of the list. By the time the smoke cleared at Easterns, they were behind Lehigh.
It was an exciting Easterns, I felt. I knew that for us to win it, Penn would have to fall down. They'd have to make some mistakes, and we'd have to be there to pick up the pieces. And for us to even be in the hunt, we had to score bonus points. And that's what we worked for. That's what we've been working for all season. And I was pleased after the first round ended, we had 9 points for advancement and 15 or 16 points in bonuses. So that's really what put us in the second place.
Let's take a look at some of the place winners that Lehigh had. I know that it was I guess Corey Breckbill might have been one of the biggest surprises coming out of Easterns. He had a record that was, well, so-so going in, and he really turned things around when he got there.
Well, Corey has an ability to sometimes let people score on him when he shouldn't. And so as a result of that, he's had a season which, as you just said, was up and down. But he had a fantastic Easterns. Pinned his first two opponents, major decision his third opponent. Had he won in the finals, maybe in grand style, he might have even been named the outstanding wrestler. Who knows? But he had a great tournament with those falls, and of course scored bonus points for us too.
Safara, Kutz, Ayers, we said Breckbill, Van Dorn, and Leonardis all doing a great job. And as they got ready to go to nationals, I mean, it was the kind of thing where you could see the cream rising to the top at the end of the season. You talk about being at the top of your game day in and day out, and you were pretty much able to do that as you went through Easterns.
Well, I think we peaked at Easterns. I think we peaked also at the Nationals, but definitely at the Easterns. Strunk Kutz in the toughest field there, coming through with great wrestling to win it. Leonardis coming from a 10-3 loss to Eason and beating Eason 6-3 in the final at the Easterns. That was really outstanding.
Was Easterns everything you wanted it to be your first time through as a coach at Lehigh?
Well, we would have liked to have had fewer holes in the lineup. Missing Bill Clausen definitely hurt us. If we'd have had Bill, I think the outcome could have been different. I really think we could have been right in there battling closer with Penn. Penn had an outstanding performance. They really did. And they won their first ever title. And so we'll give them credit for that. But I was pleased with the way our guys wrestled. I think we did the right things to get ready for it, and I think we did the right things once we were there.
You took 4 wrestlers on to nationals, 2 seniors, and all the wrestlers who went were there for their first time. It's got to be a major adjustment, a little bit of the head games when you're through the ringer the first time. You know, you can probably remember back when you went through nationals the first time.
It was ugly. It was ugly. I was a fairly successful freshman. I'd only lost 1 match going into the nationals as a freshman, and went to the nationals and got pinned my first bout, and that was it. I was a tourist. So actually everybody on this team, I guess, did better because everybody had 2 matches at least. I think when you walk in the gym, especially at the Target Center, it's huge. There's 13,000 people there. Everybody's a little bit awestruck. You have to qualify to get the nationals, obviously, so everybody's good. Everybody is in the same boat you're in. And I think our guys wrestled well there, though. I think we performed well, we wrestled well. We came up a little bit short.
Is it real difficult, though? First-time wrestler going through the ringer. I mean, people talk about the level of competition, and you just did, but you mentioned a good thing when you came off of that banquet the other night that Lehigh had. You mentioned that of all the 300 or so guys that show up, only 10 are going to leave undefeated.
That's correct. 330 entries, 10 that will leave undefeated. This year at the Nationals, it was a tough tournament. 5 national champions got beat. McGinnis from Iowa, returning national champion at 126, didn't even place. So there were some upsets, major upsets. Very seldom does a guy go there on their first trip and do really well. You see it once in a while. Darryl Burley did it for Lehigh. You see it once. Pat Smith did it, obviously, winning 4 titles. But usually, the usual course of events, your first time there is get your feet wet, feel what it's like. And unfortunately for our 2 seniors, that was their first trip to the Nationals. And it would have been great if they'd have been there before, so they had experience.
One of those seniors who did make his first trip to nationals is Strunk Kutz, and Jason joins us on the set today. As the senior co-captain, Jason, was it a big experience for you? I know the first time through the ringer going to nationals, or was it something that you just found that you didn't do that badly because you were able to advance through a couple rounds?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big experience being there for my first time and all, but I tried not to let that have too much of an effect on me. I just wanted to go out there and wrestle, but unfortunately that really didn't happen in the matches that I lost. So
4 years, though, as a Lehigh wrestler. As you look back on the career, are there certain highlights in your own mind you say, this is a place where I grew as a wrestler? These are things that I'm going to walk away with and remember for the rest of my life?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I can't really pick out one instance, but just the whole process, I've made lifelong friends, competing for Lehigh, and Lehigh Wrestling has changed my character, and it's made me what I am today in large parts. So I definitely owe a lot to the sport of wrestling and to Lehigh Wrestling.
What's in store for Lehigh Wrestling as you now leave the program as a captain? I mean, I know the cupboard's not bare.
Yeah. Lehigh, with Coach Strobel here, I think that good things are in store, definitely real good things. I think the right man is at the job right now, and I think he's going to lead them back to return to glory, as he said last year. So.
Your future plans, I know that you have been interviewing on different jobs. You say the process is starting now, but is wrestling going to be in your future at all, or is that now going to be a little bit behind you?
Yeah, I haven't really decided yet. I'm sure I'm always going to have something to do with wrestling. I can't just, close the door and that'll be it. But I would like to stay involved with wrestling. Right now I'm applying to physical therapy school, so hopefully, the school I get into will have a wrestling program, and maybe I can, help out there or work out with some of their guys. So.
You talk about your wrestling experience at Lehigh. I know you're involved in fraternities as well. How about the whole Lehigh experience for Jason Kutz?
To sum it up, I would just have to say it's been unbelievable. It's everything that I wanted when I came to this school, and now I sit here 4 years later, and I'm a better man because of Lehigh University and the encounters that I went through here.
Well, Jason, I want to thank you for joining us on the Lehigh Wrestling Report again, and congratulations on an outstanding season.
All right, thank you very much.
Greg Strobel has a look at the inside moves, the finer points of wrestling, and the coach likes to teach. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Inside Moves. Today we're talking about bars and halves, ways of pinning people. Tom Cook is on the bottom. He's going to experience what a good bar and a good half will be from Ed Andres. First of all, got the starting position. This is the referee's starting position, and Ed's going to break him down, and he does this by chopping it and knocking him forward. Right here, he's going to slide in a deep arm bar. Here comes the bar, locks it in deep. Now, a key point on this, and you have time to work this, by the way, you don't want him sliding out. So Tom, when Ed locks this in, I'm going to get over to this side to point this out. He's got this locked in. I call this making a bicep. He has palm to him right here, and he's making a bicep to lock that arm real tight. And that keeps the bottom guy from limping out, because you don't want the guy to limp out on you there, okay? The next thing, and the next important part of this, a lot of kids will do this. They reach under the armpit and reach out and grab the wrist. I don't really like that very well. Do that one more time. I don't really like that well, because when he drives him over, he gets that wrist caught under, and now this arm's locked in. Now Ed's locked in. He can't even take that arm out if he wants to. So I'd rather you don't do that. What I'd like you to do, even if this arm is quite a ways out there, just reach out and grab over the whole wrist and drive your opponent over the top of that arm. Once he's over the arm, it's not going to move anyway. So there he is. He's locked in. So he's got the good bar here. He can't use the right arm anymore. And from this, Ed's just going to walk around the front, keeping the pressure going forward, and taking him right to his back and settling down for the fall. It's really important when you settle down for the fall that you don't let the guy spin either direction. And Ed does a real good job of covering that. Okay? Come on back one more time real quick and back up just a little bit. We'll show that one more time. First of all, the breakdown. He chops it and drives him forward and knocks him down. Slides in the bar on the way. Again, making a bicep. Palm to him. Reaches out and grabs the hand. Drives him over the top. Walks around the head. Taking him to his back and keeping him from slipping through. There's a fall. Okay? Coming back one more time, we're going to show the next technique. Two good combinations of moves out of the same breakdown. And this was a half Nelson, a great move. Knocks him down. Tom starts to come up. So Ed drives in a deep half and right here drives him right over the top of the head and drives it forward. Go ahead and drive it forward a little bit more. There it is. And now he sinks it in deep, and this is a key element in pinning a guy. He drops his chest back right here. Okay? From there, he sucks the head up tight. Look at the twist he's got in the back and settles it down for the fall. Good head pressure, good chest pressure. This match is over. Okay? One more time.
The finer points of wrestling with Greg Strobel. Inside moves, and I'll tell you, the pinning combinations were one that Brian Strunk liked to work. I saw you go chest on chest with a guy from Cornell earlier this season. We'll see it in the highlight tape, which is coming up. Brian Strunk joins us, co-captain as well. And summarize your 4 years maybe at Lehigh, Brian. It was a pretty good run for you.
Yeah, well, actually, it was 5 years I was here. No, I've gained a lot from being here at Lehigh, both in wrestling and outside of wrestling. You know, inside of wrestling, I think I've grown a lot as a wrestler. I've learned, you know, so much about the sport of wrestling from, you know, the different coaches that we've had here over the years. So it's really been a positive experience for me.
Any one particular match or season in those 4 or 5 years that you wrestled that sticks out in your mind, something you'll walk away with and said, yeah, I accomplished that?
Yeah, I think yeah, one of the funnest seasons I had was my sophomore year when I was wrestling those 4 different weights. Yeah, actually, I didn't mind that as much as a lot of people think I might have. It was kind of fun wrestling some of those big guys because, you know, a lot of them were a little slower. It was kind of fun. Plus, I knew that there wasn't any pressure on me. You know, every time, everybody would just kind of laugh when I went out there and almost expect me to get beat on. But a lot of times, yeah, I could beat those guys. So it was kind of fun.
As a captain, you walk away from the program now. How do you look back at maybe what's still there at Lehigh? Maybe your prediction, if you will, as you look ahead to the '97 season.
Well, I mean, we have some, you know, excellent guys returning next year, and actually for the next 2 years, because there's not going to be a senior on the team next year. So, you know, between two, you know, freshmen like Chris Ayers and Marat Fedorchik, I mean, those guys had outstanding seasons as freshmen, and yeah, I think they're going to be something to look forward to in the next couple of years, along with John Leonardis and some of those other guys.
An engineering major at Lehigh University. Tell us about your future plans here. Do you have anything lined up? I know you've got interviews coming up soon, right?
Yeah, I've been going through the interview process, and you know, nothing's turned up quite yet, but yeah, I've been looking around in this area some, so I wouldn't mind staying in the Lehigh Valley if possible.
Well, Brian Strunk, it's always a pleasure to have you on the Lehigh Wrestling Report. I know we'll see you around coming back to matches if you are, in fact, not going back to Cincinnati and staying in the Lehigh Valley area.
Yep, I'll be around.
Brian Strunk, senior co-captain of the Engineers, and now time to get that VCR cranked up because we're going to show you the 1995-96 Lehigh Wrestling highlight video. When Greg Strobel was named the 7th head wrestling coach in Lehigh's 87-year history, it was clear that the program was going in a new direction. The former 2-time national champ at Oregon State had coached several U.S. national teams in international competitions. As an assistant coach of this year's Olympic team and the head coach of the nation's team for the Pan American Games, Strobel has a simple philosophy for building a winning team.
I've got two major things on my philosophy for wrestling. Number one, wrestling is inherently fun. And so left to their own device, kids have fun wrestling. Number two, the best way to learn how to wrestle is to wrestle. And actually, that's the most fun anyway. So I told the boys at the very first part of the season, I mean, the first practice, this isn't the weight cutting team, it's not the stair climbing team, it's not the push-up team, it's not the setup team, it's not the calisthenics team, it's the wrestling team. And we do a lot of wrestling, and as a result, I think they're having fun, and they're getting in good shape, and they're learning how to do it.
In 1995-96, the team's overall record was 7-9, but it could be said that Lehigh didn't duck anyone. By season's end, Lehigh had taken on 9 teams that were ranked in the top 25 and recorded wins over Clarion and Pitt. There were no excuses, but the fact remains that junior heavyweight Bill Clausen, a national qualifier a year ago, was lost to the team early on with a season-ending knee injury. That major hole at the end of the lineup made for some interesting matchups with Edmund Sheik and Travis Jackson rounding out the final weight class. It also provided Lehigh with one of its most memorable highlights for the season. On plenty of time. 1:30 to wrestle here in the first period with Travis Jackson leading by the score of 2-0.
Still Ryan with the head in the arm. Breaks him to his side.
1:16 to wrestle in the first period.
Trying to, he's got a half Nelson. He's on the turn. He can pin him.
This place is rocking. Jackson's in deep. Applying the pressures. Travis Jackson. Pete Marcados in trouble. Big trouble.
Trying to roll through. They may run out of mat room. Now he brings him back on. There could be the fall. Kind of an awkward situation.
There's the ball. It's over. Jackson, first win of the year. First ball of the year. Lehigh beats Syracuse again. Unbelievable.
Lehigh.
While the loss of Clausen left some questions, there were few doubts regarding the rest of the Lehigh lineup. Mike Safar at 118 pounds had 17 wins, and the sophomore from Medford, New Jersey finished 4th at Easterns. Sophomore Mark Lombardi of Short Hills, New Jersey held his own at 134 pounds against some of the best wrestlers in the country. Freshman John Van Dorn, Lehigh's 177-pounder from Somerville, New Jersey, was a pleasant surprise as he picked up 12 victories on the year, including a 5-2 decision over Pitt's Brian Matuzik, a two-time NCAA qualifier. Another freshman, Murat Fedorchik from Brooklyn, New York, by way of Russia, moved into the 150-pound weight class vacated by two-time All-American Steve Cassidy, and when his season was over, Fedorchik had an outstanding record of 24-11. Senior co-captain Brian Strunk from Westchester, Ohio, was one of 5 Lehigh wrestlers to record 20 or more victories. Strunk's 68 career wins placed him 20th on Lehigh's all-time list for overall wins. Among this year's highlights, Strunk finished first at 158 pounds in the Oregon Classic, and he also scored an overtime win against Penn State. You could say that Strunk enjoyed working overtime as he had 5 dual matches decided in sudden death. And at Easterns, 2 more of his bouts were settled in overtime. Strunk has had the distinction of being the first Lehigh wrestler since Mike Frick to win at 4 different weight classes. Strunk will always be remembered as a wrestler who always gave just a little bit more. Regardless of the team's record, the main goal that Coach Strobel listed was for the team and its wrestlers to improve with each match. As the team made its way toward Easterns, it finally leaped past Cornell and Navy, 2 teams that had chased all year long in the EIWA polls. When the final tally was in, Lehigh at Easterns finished second, just 38 points behind Penn. Cornell was third, and Navy 7th. Lehigh had shown its ranking was no fluke, and with steady improvement, 4 Lehigh wrestlers were on their way to nationals. The national qualifiers. Chris Ayers, a freshman from Andover, New Jersey at 142 pounds, found his way into the lineup and had over 20 wins this season. Ayers was ranked nationally and at one time was ranked as high as 12th. Ayers was a Sheridan Tournament champion and was voted that tournament's outstanding wrestler, with 2 of his 4 wins being major decisions. With his second place finish at Easterns, Ayers made his first trip to nationals. Ayers likes to mix it up on the mat, and being an unknown to some on the national level, he felt that maybe he caught some people off guard this year.
I think I surprised some people, let's put it that way. I came out of nowhere, basically. Never did anything in states in high school, junior nationals, never placed. I just pretty much came out of nowhere, I guess.
With 3 more years of eligibility, Chris Ayers is well on his way to becoming a very well-known wrestler in national circles. As Lehigh's 167-pounder, Corey Breckbill, a senior, had a record of only 15-12 going into Easterns. Still, Breckbill made it to the EIWA final, and with a second-place finish, earned a trip to nationals. One of the most versatile wrestlers on the team, Breckbill saw action at 177 pounds and at 190 this year. Motivation was never a problem. Breckbill knew it was time to step it up as the 1996 season began.
I don't think it's a sense of urgency, but I realize that's my last year, and if I don't do it this year, I will never get it done. So there's not a sense of urgency, but I realize that it's my last year. In that, I'm preparing a little more than I have in past years, just because I want to make sure I get everything done that I want to get done. I don't want to have things left that I wish I could have done. I want to make sure I give it everything 100% shot.
That shot was more than good enough as Breckbill made his first trip to nationals. In a season that might have frustrated others, Corey Breckbill found a way to get the job done. Jason Kutz from Altoona, Pennsylvania. Senior co-captain Jason Kutz was undoubtedly one of the nation's best at 126 pounds. The only Lehigh wrestler to hit the 30-win mark this season, Kutz had a string of 24 straight victories. That streak was the 6th longest winning streak in Lehigh history. Kutz was a champion at the Sheridan Tournament and at the Oregon Classic. He proved the experts right as he was seated first at Easterns and left with the title. From day one of the season, Kutz just kept trying to do the same things.
Coach said it at the beginning of the year. I think the key for me is consistency. Consistency in the form of, having my goal set early in the year and coming into practice each day and working towards those goals and having a set plan and just going and getting to work.
The trip to nationals for Kutz was the culmination of an outstanding season. Kutz began the year with just over 30 career wins, and he equaled that in his senior season. He was also the team leader with 10 falls. A team captain is one who has to lead by example. The example of winning was provided by Jason Kutz in 1996. In 1996, the groundwork was laid on which Coach Coach Strobel can continue to build, making the Lehigh wrestling team one of the best in the country. And with just 5 seniors leaving the program, the future looks bright indeed. So now Lehigh wrestlers can build to 1996-97. I know that we've already spoken to the 2 co-captains on the way out. Tell us about the 2 co-captains who are coming in.
Well, Chris Ayers and Bill Clausen are going to be our team captains next year. I think they come back with a wealth of experience. Ayers, of course, going to this year's Nationals, placing second in the Easterns this season. And Bill Clausen, NCAA qualifier in the previous season and also second in the conference. So we're pleased with that choice.
EIWA, as far as Lehigh matches up, I hear the rumblings from the Quaker City. Penn says that they're the team to beat and nobody's going to touch them.
Well, that's what I've been hearing also, and they host the EIWA next year at the Palestra, and it's going to be an interesting battle because I think Brown has a couple kids coming back they didn't have last season. Syracuse has their heavyweight back. We have a bunch of guys back, guys on deferred eligibility, plus our returning guys. So we're going to have a decent team next year. But Penn does have a strong team. We're going to host them, by the way, in a dual meet. The only guy they lose, I think, is Eveleth at 26, and they also get Brandon Slay back off of deferred eligibility. So they're going to be a tough team.
So now Penn replaces Penn State as the marquee team on Lehigh's schedule?
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
Although we will host Penn next year. And actually, it might not be a bad idea to go every other year with them, wouldn't it? As long as Penn remains strong. Penn State's still a big rival, and Penn State has a great team coming back with returning red shirts Kerry McCoy and Pritzloff. So they're going to be strong next year, even though they graduate 3 outstanding seniors.
Tell us about the schedule, maybe your plans. I know that things aren't necessarily in stone yet, but some of the teams you'd like to see? No,
we're working real hard right now on our schedule in terms of who we're bringing in and where we're going. Basically, where we went this year, they're coming into our place. We're going to host Penn, we're going to host Clarion, we're going to host Edinburgh, we're going to go to Pitt, we're going to go to Cornell, we're going to go to Syracuse, those types of things. That's the basic schedule. The Sheridan tournament we're changing. We're going to go to a 16-team bracket, and so it's varsity only. My goal is to have a Big 10 school, a Big 8 school, a Pac-10 school, possibly WAC, ACC, EWL, and the EIWA. So we're going to try to hit all the major conferences with that, and I've already got confirmation from each of those conferences that they do want to be represented. So I'm excited about that possibility for the Sheridan. We're also going to go out and hit Michigan. We've also been invited to the tournament in Reno, but I'm not sure if we're going to go yet.
Tell us about maybe some of the spring, summer plans that you have for your wrestlers. I know that you're involved in the Olympic team, and maybe you can get some workouts with those kind of guys.
Well, actually, you know, the planning and everything we're doing for next year starts now. It actually started at the NCAA's. Our guys are working out now to get ready for next year. We'll have guys going to spring tournaments to do freestyle, including this weekend. We'll have guys going to the University Nationals in Evanston, Illinois. And this summer, when I'm coaching the Olympic team at summer camp, we'll have some of the guys going to summer camp with me also. So I anticipate that they will train spring, summer, come in the fall, really ready to go.
One more piece of news before we move on, and that is that Lehigh is going to be hosting the pre-Olympic match with Russia and the United States. Comes up on April the 4th, and still a lot of tickets remain for that.
Well, ticket sales are going well. I'm expecting a good crowd. Matter of fact, I made well, not a wager, but just a friendly bet that I think we're going to outdraw Iowa here. And that's a big chore. But I think with the area that we draw from, I think we'll have people from New York, from Philadelphia, surrounding areas. We should do well crowd-wise. It's going to be an exciting match. Good teams from both sides coming in.
Well, as always, Greg Strobel, head coach at Lehigh University. Thanks for coming on all season long on the Lehigh Wrestling Report. Great to hear the inside moves, because I learned some things about wrestling as well. And once again, pleasure to have you on the show.
Great to be here, Mick.
And finally, Brian Strunk, Jason Kutz, gentlemen, good luck down the road as you continue possibly your wrestling careers, maybe even as coaches, you never know, and as you get into all walks of life. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
And I want to thank you, too, for joining us on the Lehigh Wrestling Report all year long. Now, for the entire crew at WLVT Television and for those from Lehigh University, I'm Mick Moningoff, and thanks for joining us on the Lehigh Wrestling Report.